Bottom line is one of his coaches. His name is Charles Thompson. He's an ex-teammate of mine from Kingsville. He kept up with our program the last 3 years, and of course they basically travel all over the nation and find teams that can compete at a high level. So, and we kept in touch. From another buddy of mine, name is Byron Brown, living in Lyford, and ex-teammate of mine as well. And he said, "Hey man, what do you think about possibly playing Prime Prep?" I said, I'm good. I'm good. Bottom line, it's always the challenge to take our program to another level. And what better than prime time? Seriously, it's prime time football, and definitely it's a prime time stage and stuff. So definitely that's basically how it happened.
You see some similarity between what the kind of the perception of the valley, and then as much pressure as he had up there, as far as people, they want to take them very seriously. Do you see some correlation, or is it?
Well, the correlation, for one, having a conversation with him today is that it's a lot easier to play the game than try to manage thank you, Dr. Rowe. And that's one thing that he came in good. So it's a lot easier to play than to manage a football team. But he ran into some issues with the UIL and stuff, and but that's something that the UIL is what we follow. But at the same time, it was going to provide us with an opportunity. It almost didn't happen, but the way I see it was going to be an opportunity for our kids to see that, not just us, but up in Sharyland. Me and Ron have become good friends, and at the same time, I'm just trying to advocate any program out there that wants to get better, for the simple reason of someday going to a state championship. I want to see the Valley, become a state contender, so it can bring more respect to what we're doing down here, and that there is quality football players down here in the Valley. But of course, it's going to take a lot of luck. But at the same time, I definitely believe in it, and so does Ron. And that's one of those things why we did what we did. But getting to know Dion, he's definitely a very humble guy. He's a man of God, and that's something that I'm possessing in my life too. And that's part of it. I truly believe that it's a calling in what we do, not just to be head football coaches, but to be able to manage these teams and lead kids to become great. But bottom line is, I'm excited, man. Definitely, I'm excited for tomorrow and get an opportunity to play a Hall of Famer, and no doubt be out there and run around and get better, no doubt, as a program.
Coach, there's been runs like Fresno's, yourself, good programs going 2, 3, 4 deep. How close do you think the Valley is to breaking that gap? Seems like Donna, winning the championship. How close do you think we are?
I think we've narrowed the gap. I think we've got ways to go, but I truly believe that as coaches, we've got to get more involved at the next level. What I mean by that is going to these clinics and listening exactly how they're thinking, how they're doing things. Because that's one of the things when I first went to a San Antonio clinic, I knew why we couldn't beat a San Antonio school, is the presence, how they present themselves. And it's one of those things that certain of us don't possess down here. And it really was a slap to my face, because again, it's one of those things that knowledge is key in everything that we do in this world, and you've got to get better every single day. You can't become complacent in what you're doing. You might think you know it all, but you really don't. And that's one of those things. When I went up to San Antonio, I needed to do those things, and it was kind of coincidental. Started going to those clinics, and we were starting to be able to compete against the Stevens, and we lost in double overtime, and just certain things. It's just become immune to that. It's like seeing Dion. Very first time I saw him this morning, I was like, but now I just seem like he's just one of us. He's a guy who's just trying to help kids become men. And tomorrow should be interesting, because he's calling the offense and I call the defense. So I can't wait. I won't be able to sleep all night, because it's going to be something that I'll be able to share for the rest of my life. But I truly believe in this few minutes that we've shared, we've developed a bond, because he knows that I'm trying to do the same thing for our kids. It's trying to make them get to the next level and help them any which way we can. They have a lot of inner city kids that don't have father figures. They have a lot of kids that I've never seen outside of their town. Same thing with us. When we went to go play in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome, there's some kids on our team that have never been to Luby's. Things like that. It's one of those things that it is what it is. We get caught up sometimes in our own little world and don't understand that there's a lot of help that we can do in our own city, in our own community. And better yet, with these kids who are trying to advocate to get themselves and live their dreams playing the game they love. But it's all relative. The only thing that these guys are just a little bit bigger than us. So we'll see. We'll see tomorrow.
How do you get your team to not overlook, Sharyland, because they're going to play Sharyland and Prime Prep?
No.
How do you do that?
No, without a doubt, we know Sharyland what they're going to bring, definitely. But right now, everything's focused on prime time, because this is the event we're happening. But don't get me wrong, Sharyland brings a lot of speed to the table. They got a lot of tradition, and it's one of those things that we really don't worry who we're facing. It's always us versus ourselves because we set parameters in our program, and we play within those parameters. Everything else is irrelevant. And as long as we play within our parameters and our visions and our purposes, we're going to take care of our business, and that's the whole thing. I don't emphasize taking care of stuff that you have no control over. You know, take care of what you can, what you've been coached to, and what you've been prepped to from the off season, and go out there and do what you have to do. And that's basically the way we handle our business. But right now, the focus is on prime prep since they're here. But don't get me wrong. I know I've talked to Coach Adame, and I'll talk to his defensive coordinator on certain things that I saw formations-wise today. But I'll give old Coach Krell a call on certain things to prepare ourselves because I want for us to be successful. You know, Sherryland and ourselves, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. It'll be us versus prime prep, then us versus Sherryland, and then Sherryland versus them. So we can get 4 full quarters, and Sherryland can get 4 full quarters nonstop. Prepares for the following week. Appreciate you.